M. Victor Anthony Raj. He has pursued his bachelor's, master's, and MPhil in physics. He then went on to pursue his PhD in physics at the University of Madras as well. He then went on to work as a lecturer at Tiruvalluvar Arts and Science College and Idya Engineering College for Women. Since the year 2006, he works as the lecturer and assistant professor at Loyola College, Chennai. With regard to research, he has published several papers in international journals, namely Radio Wave Propagation over Salem, Linear and Non-Linear Optical Properties of Pure and Doped Selenium Malate Single Crystals, and many more. He has also attended several conferences and seminars, namely International Conference on Materials Science and Technology, National Conference on Higher Education at Crossroads held at Loyola College, National Seminar on Crystal Growth 12 held at VIT University, and many more.
Welcome to DTH channel, Properties of Inner Planets in our Solar System, Lecture 2 of Astronomy and Astrophysics. I am going to present this lecture in the following way: Introduction, Properties of Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and summary of the discussions we are going to do. We know our solar system consists of 8 planets. As I told earlier, the first 4 planets are called inner planets. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars are classified as inner planets in our solar systems. And these planets are also known as terrestrial or Earth-like planets. The reason for this name is these are all similar to Earth. Similar in the sense, in the size as well as in the composition, these planets are similar to Earth. That's why these planets are known as terrestrial or Earth-like planets. Coming to the distance of these planets from Sun, Mercury is 0.387 astronomical unit from Sun, very closer to Sun, but it's not the hottest planet in our solar system. Next comes Venus, 0.723 astronomical unit is the distance of Venus from Sun. As we all know, 1 astronomical unit is the distance of Earth from Sun, because the definition itself, definition of astronomical unit itself, based on the average distance of Earth from Sun. Then coming to Mars, it's 1.524 astronomical unit from Sun. So like that, these 4 planets are at different distance from Sun. Coming to the properties of our first planet Mercury. This is the Artesian view of our solar system. In between the inner planets and outer planets, we got the asteroid belt. Then after the 8th planet, Kuiper belt is there. In that Kuiper belt, many objects are there. Then Pluto till 2006 was in the planet category. After 2006, it gone to dwarf planet category. So this is the Artesian view of our solar system. Coming to the property of the first planet in our solar system, closest planet to Sun. The smallest planet in our solar system, we can call the Mercury as the smallest planet in the solar system and also nearest to Sun. The size of the Mercury is only slightly larger than Earth's moon. Earth's moon gravitational force is 1.6 meter per second square. So based on the gravitational force between moon and Earth, Earth's moon and Earth, the size of the moon is defined. Here the Mercury is only slightly larger than the Earth's moon. Then NASA astronomers have found out that from the surface of Mercury, the Sun would appear more than 3 times as large as it does when viewed from Earth. and the sunlight would be as much as 7 times brighter than it appears from the Earth's surface. That is, when we look at the sun from Earth, we receive some brightness. If you look at the same sun from Mercury, it will be 7 times larger brighter, and the size of the sun would appear 3 times as larger as when it is observed from Earth. Despite its proximity very closer to Sun, Mercury is not the hottest planet in our solar system because it has a dense atmosphere. Dense atmosphere will exhibit greenhouse gas effect. Then hot radiation received from Sun will not remain in the planet, it will be protected by the atmosphere. So, though Mercury is very closer to Sun, it is not the hottest planet. Venus is the hottest planet in our solar system. Then this Mercury planet is at a distance of 36 million miles or 0.39 astronomical unit from Sun, I told earlier. Then one day in Mercury is nothing but 59 Earth days. Then one day-night cycle on Mercury takes 175.97 Earth days. So this is the day-night duration of Mercury comparing to the day-night duration of Earth. Then coming to the orbital velocity or time taken by Mercury to complete one rotation around Sun. So Mercury makes a complete orbit around the Sun in just 88 Earth days, but Earth takes 365 days to complete one rotation, but this takes just 88 days. Then Mercury is a rocky planet very close to Sun at the origin of the solar system. At the time of formation of solar system, rocky objects remained closer to our Sun. So Mercury is a rocky planet, also known as a terrestrial planet. This Mercury has a solid cratered surface much like the Earth's moon, and size of the Earth is also size of Mercury is also similar to the size of Earth's moon. Then Mercury's atmosphere, coming to the atmosphere of Mercury, it composed of oxygen, sodium, hydrogen, helium and potassium. Atoms that are blasted off the surface by the solar wind and micrometeoroid impacts create Mercury's exosphere. So Mercury's atmosphere consists of oxygen, sodium, hydrogen, helium, like that. This is the image given by visual and infrared spectrometer of Mercury. This spectroscopic image gives the surface process of Mercury. What are the minerals, atoms, elements present on the surface of the Mercury is explored by the spectroscopy instrument. So this is an interesting part in the study of Mercury. Now coming to this image was given by Messenger Mercury orbiter, spacecraft orbiter given this image in the year 2011 on March 18. 11 days later, the spacecraft was the first image ever obtained from Mercury orbit. This left side image shows the first image of Mercury. Then coming to the properties of Mercury, it has no moons, there are no rings around Mercury, no evidence for life in the Mercury. Then daytime temperature in Mercury can reach 430 degrees Celsius, nighttime temperature can reduce to minus 180 degrees Celsius. Then at this temperature there is no life possible in Mercury. Then standing on Mercury's surface at its closest approach to Sun, our star would appear more than 3 times larger than that is Earth appears. Then exploration about Mercury was done by NASA scientists, by two spacecraft. Not only NASA scientists, the European Space Agency's ESA JAXA, Bepi Colombo are en route to Mercury. NASA's Mariner 10 was the first mission to explore Mercury. NASA's Messenger was the first to orbit the innermost part of the Mercury. Like that, many spacecraft are sent to Mercury to explore the planet Mercury. Now coming to the next planet in our solar system, this planet was identified by Japanese research group. This research group has identified a giant streak structure among the clouds covering Venus based on the observation from the spacecraft Akatsuki. This Venus is the second planet in our solar system from the sun, and this Venus is the closest neighbor to our Earth. Then this Venus is similar in structure and size to Earth. This Venus spins slowly in the opposite direction as most planets do. This Venus has thick atmosphere which traps heat in a runaway greenhouse effect, making it the hottest planet in our solar system. Because Mercury atmosphere is very thin, it escapes all the heat outside, but this Venus has a thick atmosphere, so its temperature is very high. This temperature is hot enough to melt lead. Then this Venus glimpses below the clouds reveal volcanoes and deformed mountains, because it's the hottest planet in our solar system. So this planet consists of more volcanoes and deformed mountains. This Venus orbits our sun as a star. Venus is the second closest planet to the sun at a distance of 67 million miles, that is 108 million kilometer. The daytime in Venus lasts 243 Earth days, because Venus spins backwards with its sun rising in the west and setting in the east. In Earth, sun rises in east and sets in west, but in Venus it's taking place in opposite way, where sun rises in the west and sets in the east. Then Venus' solid surface is a volcanic landscape covered with extensive plains featuring high volcanic mountains and vast ridged plateaus. Venus has no moons and no rings. The planet's surface temperature is about 465 degrees Celsius, which is hot enough to melt lead. Many scientists believe that water once existed in Venus on the surface. Future explorers may search for evidence of an ancient ocean in Venus. This is the appearance of Venus when we see from the mountain near Salt Lake City. This photograph was taken on the day January 31, 2019. So here you can see the crust moon with the appearance of Venus here. So this is the photograph of Venus from sun. More than 40 spacecraft has been sent to explore Venus. The 90s Magellan mission mapped the planet's surface, and Akatsuki is currently orbiting Venus. Venus' extreme temperature and acidic clouds make it an unlikely place for life as we know it. Then while the surface rotates slowly, the winds blow at hurricane force, sending clouds completely around the planet every 5 days. This is the hemispheric view of Venus as revealed by more than a decade of radar investigation, culminating the 1990-1994 Magellan mission, is centered at 180 degrees east longitude. While the surface rotates slowly, the winds in Venus blow at hurricane force, sending clouds completely around the planet every 5 days. This is the hemispherical view of Venus as revealed by more than a decade of radar investigation, culminating in the 1990 to 1994 Magellan mission, is centered at 180 degrees east longitude. So a spectacular image of Venus produced by the investigations carried out between 1990 to 1994. Then this is the crater Isabella with a diameter of 175 kilometers seen in this Magellan radar image is the second largest impact crater on Venus, second larger impact crater on Venus. So this is another spectacular image of the Venus. This image is crater Isabella with a diameter of 175 kilometers seen in this Magellan radar image. This is the second largest impact crater on Venus, a spectacular view of the Venus. Now coming to the third planet, our Earth, a only planet in our solar system which has life. All other extraterrestrial objects are researched, revealed from this planet. This planet is the third planet from the Sun, the fifth largest planet in our solar system. Radius of our Earth is 6,371 kilometers. It takes about 8 minutes for light from the Sun to reach our planet. Coming to the most fascinating planet in our solar system which has life. This is the only planet in our solar system having life. This is the third planet from Sun. Our Earth is the third planet from Sun, fifth largest planet in the solar system. Radius of Earth is 6,371 kilometers. Then for the light, it takes about 8 minutes to reach our planet from Sun. It is 9,37,83,140 kilometers away from the Sun. The name Earth is at least 1,000 years old. All other planets in our solar system except Earth were named after Greek and Roman gods and goddesses. However, the name Earth is a Germanic word which simply means the ground, because all other things are explored from the ground, from this planet. So it got the name, the Earth. This is a spectacular view of Earth and Moon over the Pacific Ocean near North America, as seen by the Deep Space Climate Observatory. Deep Space Climate Observatory. A spectacular view of Earth and our Moon over North America, as seen by Deep Space Climate. Now coming to the structure of Earth. Earth is composed of 4 main layers, starting with an inner core at the planet center, enveloped by the outer core, mantle and crust. The inner core is a solid sphere made up of iron and nickel metals, about 1,221 kilometers in radius. Now the temperature is as high as 5,400 degrees Celsius in the inner core. Surrounding the inner core is the outer core. This outer core layer is about 2,300 kilometers thick, made up of iron and nickel fluids. In between this outer core and crust is the mantle, the thickest layer. This layer, which is a hot, viscous mixture of molten rock, is about 2,900 kilometers thick and has the consistency of caramel. The outermost layer, Earth's crust, goes about 30 kilometers deep on average on land. So at the bottom of the ocean, the crust is thinner and extends about 5 kilometers from the sea floor to the top of the mantle. Thus, Earth's structure has 4 layers. Earth's structure has 4 layers. Coming to the atmosphere of our Earth. To live in this Earth, we are in need of oxygen. So, oxygen is 21% in our atmosphere, 78% nitrogen, 1% other gases such as argon, carbon dioxide and neon are present in our atmosphere, which is near the surface of the Earth. The atmospheric effects, Earth's long-term climate change and short-term local weather, and shields us from much of the harmful radiation coming from the sun. So atmosphere is the only protection layer for us to protect us from the radiations coming out from the sun. It also protects us from meteoroids, most of which burn up in the atmosphere, seen as meteors in the night sky before they can strike the surface at meteoroids. So meteoroids are not common in our Earth because it dies in the atmosphere itself. Atmosphere protects us from all celestial events happening. Now coming to the fourth planet in our solar system. This is Mars, most explored planet in our solar system. This Mars is dusty, cloud, desert world with a very thin atmosphere. This fourth planet is most explored in our solar system, and it's the only planet where NASA sent rovers to roam that alien landscape and surfaces. More things about Mars are explored by NASA scientists. This Mars has a radius of 3,390 kilometers. This Earth's radius is around 6,000 kilometers. So Mars is about half the size of Earth. Then coming to the distance of Mars from Sun, it is 1.5 astronomical unit away from the Sun. That is 228 million kilometers away from the Sun. As Mars orbits the Sun, it completes one rotation every 24.6 hours, which is very similar to 1 day on Earth, which is 23.9 hours. The day of Mars, Martian days are called sols, short form of solar day. So a year on Mars lasts 669.6 solar days, which is the same as 687 Earth days. So and Mars year is equal to 687 Earth days. In Earth, 365 days is equal to 1 year. This Mars has a dense core at its center between 1,500 to 2,000 kilometers in radius. So core of the Mars is highly dense, and that core appears in the range 1,500 to 2,100 kilometers. This core is made up of iron, nickel and sulfur. Surrounding the core is a rocky mantle between 1,240 to 1,880 kilometers thick, and above that a crust made of iron, magnesium, aluminum, calcium and potassium are there. So such rich minerals are there in Mars above the core. That part is called as rocky mantle. This rocky mantle exists between the distance 1,240 to 1,880 kilometers. So this crust is between 10 to 50 kilometers deep. This is the structure of Mars. Now this image is the image given by NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, which is a relatively young ice-filled crater near the north pole of Mars. This image was taken in December 2019, a spectacular color image taken by Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. Now coming to the next image, very old image of Mars given by Viking 1, a Mars explorer. One of the first images of sunset as seen from the surface of Mars, a spectacular image of Mars. So that Mars is called as red planet. The sand in that Mars is red planet. Now the next image, very spectacular, the wonders of time and erosion on the full display in the images of layered hills in Arabia Terra, Mars image. So erosions can be seen from this image. So these spectacular images says that there are possible for a life in Mars. Mars has a thin atmosphere made up of mostly of carbon dioxide, nitrogen and argon gases. But for a living being to exist, oxygen is important. So people are searching for oxygen's presence in the atmosphere of Mars. Mars' fair atmosphere does not offer much protection from impacts by such objects like meteoroids, asteroids and comets. That's why in the surface of Mars more craters can be seen. Then the temperature on Mars can be as high as 20 degrees Celsius or as low as minus 153 degrees Celsius. So which is very rare thing for the existence of life in Mars, because minus 153 degrees Celsius is not a conducive temperature for the existence of life. And because the atmosphere is so thin, heat from the sun easily escapes from this planet. Then Mars has no rings. This Mars has two moons, Phobos and Deimos. In our solar system, 200 plus moons are there, possessed by all the planets and asteroids. Out of the 200 plus moons, these Phobos and Deimos are important moons in the Mars. This may be captured by asteroids. They are photo shaped because they have too little mass for gravity to make them spherical. So this is the thing about Mars. So in this lecture we have learnt about the properties of solar system, properties of planets of inner planets of our solar system. The smallest planet in our solar system and nearest to the sun is Mercury. Mercury is only slightly larger than Earth's moon. Then we learnt Venus orbits our sun. Venus is the second closest planet to the sun at a distance of about 67 million miles. Then Venus spins slowly in the opposite direction compared to other planets. Earth is the third planet from the sun. Earth is the fifth largest planet in our solar system. The fourth planet from the sun. Mars is a dusty cloud desert world with a very thin atmosphere. The temperature on Mars can be as high as 20 degrees Celsius or as low as about minus 153 degrees Celsius. Like this, we have seen the properties of four innermost planets in our solar system. After listening to this lecture, you can answer the following questions. What's the radius of Mercury? List peculiar properties of Venus. How Earth is special from all other planets. Why Mars is explored more. You can learn more things about the concepts discussed in this lecture from these websites. Thank you.